I'm sure we're in for an exciting day of Formula One as you join us today in Melbourne. Any moment now, the drivers will take to the track for what should be a very interesting practice session.
What's up YouTube land, Zeno Gaming here. Welcome back to the channel now. Today we have episode number 21 of my F1 2019 career mode. Here today we have season 2 of our career mode, and today we are at the Australian Grand Prix, my home Grand Prix. So today we are hopefully expecting a really good performance for my home race. So after the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, we have made those upgrades to the car to come to the car for the Australian Grand Prix or over the winter break, and we made those changes to the chassis department. We made those upgrades. We used all our resource points on the chassis department, so that has really worked out well for that department of the car. And as you saw in the last episode, there were some driver moves as well. So we have a new teammate once again. Now it is Antonio Giovinazzi as our new teammate, and we now have 2 former teammates already. So Perez's stint at Toro Rosso did not last very long, and as you can see, Red Bull are now the fastest car on paper, which is very interesting. And I noticed that one of the reasons was that they just didn't lose much. They didn't lose any performance from last year to this year, where Mercedes and Ferrari actually lost. What they went down in performance. So they maybe didn't consolidate parts and Red Bull did. But as you can see, we are now have the 3rd best chassis on the grid, which is really good for us, considering we were around the bottom last year. But in doing that, it's taken a hit on the aero. We're now got the 3rd worst aero on the grid, and we have the 2nd worst power for the engine on the grid. So that's not ideal, not what we want, but we're going to have to make it work. We know where we need to upgrade the car now. We know we don't have to really touch the chassis, but we're going to have to really, especially we're going to work on the engine, we're going to work on the aero. We'll go deep into that. We can dive into that after this, after the episode. So let's get into qualifying. And here we are now on our first run, and we make a little bit of a mistake here coming through the exit of turn 13, and that's cost us a little bit of time, but nonetheless we'll finish the lap. And I will just say a quick note, I am getting rid of the pre-qualifying intros. I'm going to keep the pre-race intro and the race intro, but I'm getting rid of the qualifying one. Just don't think it's needed anymore. But as we come across the line anyway, we do a 1 minute 22.4, which is an okay lap. It's not great with these cars, and considering I made a big mistake, we lost a fair bit of time, maybe about half a second. So we definitely have time in the pocket. We are 18th. We're ahead of the 2 Renaults, so it shows you how poor their performance is despite the mistake. So, and we actually weren't that far off our teammate Giovinazzi, I think like a 10th maybe, so we know we're quicker than what we showed. But here we go now through turn 5, flat out corner, not trying to use that curb too much, done it nicely there. Now into turn 6, braking just between the meter boards, but we went wide, we missed the apex and in between the 150 meter boards. And anyway, made a bad mistake there, lost a lot of time. Now coming through turn 9, get a good run through here, got on the power nice and early, and you can see that translate into lap time now, coming down the back straight to turn 11 and 12, the best part of this track, coming through the sweeping left-hander, and now through the right-hander, flat out if you can. Oh no, we've made a mistake, we're into the wall. No, that is not good. That is not good. So as you can see here, just pushing the limits maybe a little bit too hard, took a bit too much curb at turn 12, sorry, and that's throwing us in the wall. You got to be very careful at that part of the track. So that's really unfortunate, and that means we're qualified 19th for the Australian Grand Prix. Also out in Q1 is Lando Norris, Antonio Giovinazzi, Alexander Albon, ourselves in 19th, and Romain Grosjean in 20th. So with that, let's get into the race.
They say that even a second is an eternity in Formula One, so going 4 winter months with no racing at all has seemed a very long time indeed. We're back though in Melbourne, home of the Australian Grand Prix since 1996. Just south of Melbourne's downtown business centre is the one and only Albert Park circuit. 3.3 miles of public roads, closed for the weekend of course, make for a bumpy circuit with little undulation. There are 16 corners around the lake and a couple of good passing opportunities here as well, thanks in part to the DRS zones into turns 1, 3 and 13. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Pierre Gasly lines up on pole position, and starting alongside in P2 is Sebastian Vettel. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Verstappen, Daniel Kvyat, and Faber, Hamilton, Bottas, Raikkonen, and Daniel Ricciardo, Butler, Perez, Nico Hülkenberg, and Magnussen, Stroll, Norris, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Alexander Albon. The captain and Romain Grosjean sits at the back of the grid, and with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Okay, I know it's your home Grand Prix, but treat it like any other race. Don't take unnecessary risks.
Welcome to the Australian Grand Prix here today. We have a one-stop strategy. I just want to have a quick note. The pre-race grid, when they introduced where the drivers are lining up in the grid, I don't know why the faces have that weird pixelation and stuff. It's nothing to do with my video. It's actually how it comes out on the PS4 even when I'm playing the game live, so not sure what that is what's up there, so Codemasters are going to have a look at that. So, but anyway, should be an interesting race for us from 19th. We have a little bit of pace, a bit more than 19th. I think we should be able to march our way forward towards the points. So with that, 5 red lights come on here today for the Australian Grand Prix, and it's go for the Australian Grand Prix. Decent start from Alexander Albon, but looks like a pretty even start for these guys at the back here. And we're going to try and go around the outside, but he closes that gap, and now Grosjean's down there inside. Yes, Romain Grosjean in the Renault is down there inside, and we now have to try and compete with him on the run to turn 3. Not what we wanted coming into our home Grand Prix competing for last place, but it is what it is. But we're now going to hold off Grosjean, go around the outside of Albon, who's going a little bit slowly through turn 3, and we take full advantage of that and take that position away from Albon. So we're now moving to P18, and now we are behind Lando Norris in the McLaren, and we're going to have a little look here into turn 6, but nothing doing there, so we're going to have to just sit behind him for now. Can we have a look in the turn 9? We know that he could go a little bit slowly into turn 9, but not close enough, unfortunately, and we're going to have to now just settle into a rhythm, find a rhythm, and hopefully just progress forward as much as we can in this Grand Prix. We should have pace, a bit more pace than where we qualified, obviously. I think we could have definitely got into Q2 and maybe pushed towards a Q3 spot, but we'll see how that all shapes out for this race here in Australia. A bit overcast conditions, rain could perhaps come towards the end, I'm not sure. Didn't have anything in the pre-race forecast, but you never know with Melbourne. They, as we say here, 4 seasons in one day. As Sebastian Vettel leads the Grand Prix. And another thing I wanted to note, Pierre Gasly got pole position, which was really surprising to see him get pole position. So that was, I guess, his first career one. I'm not sure if he had one in season 1. But anyway, now moving on to lap number 4. And we are still behind Lando Norris, who is still behind Giovinazzi. You can see Giovinazzi looks like he's losing touch with that big battle pack up ahead. But now we have a run here on Lando Norris, so we're right behind him. We're going to go for the inside line, brake early, because we were very pinched to the inside, and he outbrakes us into turn 3. Going to have to stick behind Norris for now, and no way through there this time around. And you can see, though, it is a lot of cars grouped up ahead. You can see there's Mercedes involved, there's an Alpha up there. But now, anyway, on to the run to turn 13, and we have now right behind Norris. We're going to dive down the inside and make that move stick this time round. We were much braver on the brakes into 13 than we were into 3, and we get the job done. Now we are behind our teammate Antonio Giovinazzi, the Italian, and hopefully we can find a way past him on this straight even. We're going to have a good run with DRS. He does not have DRS, which is going to be very valuable for us. You see we're gaining all the time. Are we going to have a look in the turn 1? We have a look, yes we will, and we got up the inside. He doesn't close the door on us. He locks up his front right tyre. Now we're going to try to go around the outside of him at turn 2, DRS again here, and that really propels us forward down the straight. we're going to be able to go into the corner. But now Lando Norris is diving down the inside. Where's he come from? He's overtaken almost both of us, but we managed to just hold Norris off. Yes, we do. So Norris has made an optimistic move there to get past Giovinazzi. Giovinazzi has lost 2 places to myself and Norris. And now, however, we are now into P16. And now, moving forward to lap 8, we have caught the chasing pack, this battle pack up ahead. The 2 Williams cars have gotten away from this little pack, which is really nice to see, Williams. So anyway, we're going to go down the inside of Hulkenberg in turn 15, alongside him, deep enough in there, and we make that move stick. So that's another spot, P15. We're now behind our arch rival, Devon Butler, who is in 14th place. But yes, the Williams have broken away from this pack. So Perez and Ricciardo doing a good job for Williams, and they could possibly score some points today. I thought it was a bit surprising Williams let George Russell go in the off-season. You know, he was having, I thought, what was a good season. But anyway, here we go. This is getting all hectic here. Raikkonen's going up, getting attacked by Butler. Magnussen's trying to go past Lance Stroll. Magnussen and these guys are all going side by side. This is 2-way action. This is unbelievable racing. Magnussen gets the job done. Butler looks like he's squeezed out Raikkonen, but no, Raikkonen's coming back. What can we do? Can we find a way through? Magnussen's past Stroll. Now Butler going once again side by side with Raikkonen. Looks like he's got the exit speed this time. We're going to try and go past. Oh no, we've made contact with Raikkonen. We've spun. And Hulkenberg's hit us. I want to call him Magnussen, but it's Hulkenberg. He's hit us. And now, that's unfortunate. We're actually in overtake mode here, and we get a decent enough exit. We're close enough behind Hulkenberg, so now we're going to go for the move once again around the outside. We're going to have the overspeed, but we have got a little bit of damage to the front wing. Can we sweep around the outside of Hulkenberg? Yes, we can. We hold on to 15th place, but we have lost a lot of time. We've broken our front wing, and that is really unfortunate. Here's the replay of what happened. So you can see this was just all very hectic, a lot of cars involved, and I went to go for a move past Raikkonen, and I didn't stay tight enough to the inside, and I just drifted a little bit into his car, and unfortunately spun. And then Hulkenberg hit us, and so did Norris. Well, Norris hit Hulkenberg, actually, he didn't hit me. But I want to show you, actually, we'll just see this move around the outside. This was a really nice move with a broken front wing. I didn't know how much downforce I had. But we go here, we sweep around the outside, and that was really nice. And Hulkenberg's actually got damage as well. But now I want to show you something from Hulkenberg's perspective. You see, he slows down. He sees that we spun, but we're still in front of him, and he speeds up directly into us. Why wouldn't he slow down to avoid hitting me? Because you just wouldn't see that in real life. That's just something that could also be looked at for next year's game. But we move on now back to the live action. We are now on lap 10, and this was our scheduled stop lap. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to come in. And I left it on order. I let the team decide if they were going to change the front wing. I actually didn't think the front wing was that bad, but they did decide to change it. So it didn't bother me either way. I would have dealt with it if they didn't change it, and would have had the extra pace, I guess, an extra feeling if they did change it, which they did. And we are now going on to the hard tyre to the end of the Grand Prix. If you notice at the start of the race, there was 2 options. One was soft to medium, and the other was soft to hard. And at the time, I thought I was doing the soft to mediums. And that's what I thought. That's what tyre I thought I was coming in for. I thought I was coming in for the medium tyre, but it turned out that it was already pre-selected to the hard tyre strategy. So for the next and future races, I'm gonna have to look out for that to make sure I choose which strategy I want. I probably would prefer to be on the medium tyre. But anyway, here we go, lap 12, and Albon's coming out of the pit lane, and he hasn't got the best angle because of the pit exit of this track. And we're gonna go past him around the outside at turn 2 on our hard tyres, and you can see that we have lost a bit of time because of that front wing change. We're once again behind our teammate Giovinazzi, so we're going to have to go past him again. And now on lap 13 in this Grand Prix, Nico Hulkenberg on his debut for Haas is out of this Grand Prix due to some sort of issue with his car. Not sure what the issue is, but Hulkenberg is out. Disappointing for him on his debut for Haas, and the American team will hopefully have to rely on Kevin Magnussen having any chance of them scoring points today. So disappointing for the Haas team. They are going to be big players in this midfield battle this year. And now moving on to lap 16, Giovinazzi is behind Lando Norris, and Giovinazzi is now having a go at Norris. We are right in this battle as well, and Giovinazzi trying to go around the outside, and Kevin Magnussen just ahead of this battle as well. So Haas's chance of scoring points today is looking grim, but Giovinazzi gets it done. Around the outside of Norris at turn 3, had the inside for turn 4, made the move stick. Great work by my teammate. He's also now gotten past Kevin Magnussen before I can even get past Lando Norris. So Giovinazzi is really on the move here in this Grand Prix at the minute on his medium tyres. He's doing the medium tyre today. But now we've got a great run here on Lando Norris. We're in overtake mode. We're going to have a look down the inside. And for the second time in this race, we've overtaken Lando Norris. This time at turn 9. And we make that move stick. But here's Kevin Magnussen. He's also gone for the medium tyre. Lando Norris on the hard tyre. Magnussen trying to go past my teammate here. Around the outside of turn 3. Holds the line now. He's got the position for turn 4. Giovinazzi holds it around the outside. And now he's got the position for turn 5. And he makes it stick. He makes it work. And now Magnussen slow through turn 5. We got the running him on towards turn 6, and we go past him. So a little bit of teamwork from Giovinazzi and myself there, helping to get past Kevin Magnussen there. And now lap 18 in this Grand Prix, and Giovinazzi is in our sights. We are on the worst tyres. They're not only the worst compound, they're also 1 or 2 laps older, and we are now in his slipstream, and we have DRS. We got past him into turn 1 turn 3 last time round, but this time we're not that close into turn 1, but we're going to have a go into turn 3 for sure. Here we go, rich mix, overtake mode, or high, and DRS, and we go past around the outside this time, and we have enough speed on him on the braking point to turn in that much, and we get the job done there. So that is now P14. Now it's lap 22 into this Grand Prix. You can see I haven't really made any progress away from Giovinazzi despite being quicker, just through the fact I was making little mistakes here or there, especially at turn 9. And also Lance Stroll is about 6 seconds ahead, so that's going to be tough to catch. As Lucas Weber's out of the Grand Prix. Lucas Weber, that's disappointing for him and for Alfa Romeo. He was running in the points, so my old F2 teammate is out of the points, and he's one of the mistakes I just would keep making at turn 9. And you can see how close to, I didn't realise it when I was racing. Giovinazzi was right behind me. He almost had me into turn 11, but he doesn't quite make the move stick. And now here's the yellow flag for Lucas Weber. Disappointing to start his campaign with a DNF here at Australia, but he's going to have to regroup next time out at Bahrain if he wants to score more points. Alfa Romeo look like the best of the rest at the minute, despite not being the quickest in the charts, which is Racing Point. And now here on lap 27, I did the wrong one. I was supposed to go driver ahead, so Jeff's now talking about Giovinazzi, but here I will check on what I was with Stroll. Remember, 5 laps ago we were 6 seconds behind. We're now right behind him, and here we go. I will now check about Lance Stroll.
Their tyres are 15 laps old. They seem to have an issue. The time last lap was a 1:29.4. We're gaining by around 4 seconds per lap.
So yeah, 4 seconds per lap against Lance Stroll. So he definitely has an issue with his car. Not sure what I was seeing him locking up in the turn 9. So I thought we were just going to breeze past him here on this straight. You can see how close we are. But then he started pulling like neutral speed with us, and I was like, and then he started going. I realised he had problems in the corners when he was going really slow through turn 11. And that's where it seems like he's having these issues. But 4 seconds a lap, he's losing a lot of time. We're not trying to lose any more time behind him. We go down the inside of him into turn 13, get the job done. We now move into P12, and that really was our race. Giovinazzi also got past, and so did a few other cars got past Stroll, I'm not sure. But that's the Grand Prix today. And Pierre Gasly has converted his first career pole position into his first career win. Congratulations to Pierre, he wins the race. We come home to finish 12th.
Victory for the team from Milton Keynes then, after a quality performance. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, I know it's a bit of a boring answer, but the truth is they simply had the best speed package on the day, and a driver who knows how to take advantage of that. It doesn't matter how much time you spend poring over the stats and planning strategies if you can't keep the pace, and our winner today showed they could do both.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win. Let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. With today's outstanding performance, Pierre Gasly becomes the new leader of the Drivers' Championship. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to the captain. There was a lot going on all down the field, but they were the only one who I really felt maximised their potential.
Let's move on to the constructors. Red Bull take over as championship leaders. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
So that was the Australian Grand Prix today. We finished 12th place. Could have been a point scoring possibility if we didn't break the front wing and have that little spin with Kimi Räikkönen there. It was really unfortunate that happened. Yeah, didn't know how it happened at the time. I wasn't sure how I spun. Didn't even realise I hit him, to be honest. But it was the gentlest touch. It really, I don't think you would spin in real life. I think it would just, yeah, I'm not sure. But it was a spin anyway, and that's really unfortunate for our race. But Pierre Gasly wins his first career Grand Prix for Red Bull, and he now leads the championship. Just think about those words. Pierre Gasly leads the championship, and Red Bull lead the championship in the constructors as well. Max Verstappen not having as good a day, finishing in only 5th place and finishing behind Hamilton and both the Ferraris. So, yeah, disappointing day for Max Verstappen. Great day for Pierre Gasly, however. And I don't know if any of you guys noticed, but it did have Max written on Pierre's jumpsuit, on his race suit. So I don't know if they're disguising and maybe Max is Pierre and Pierre is Max, or vice versa, you know. But so yeah, that was pretty weird. But anyway, post race now, and just on our race, I think once again, pace was actually really decent, but I just never really, that little spin just kind of put us too far back to challenge any chance for points. I think without that we could have challenged 4 points today, but that's how racing is sometimes. And now coming post race, we have some points to spend on the development. I was also just looking at here, just to see if what Pierre and my results at my result was at last year's Australian Grand Prix, which it wasn't good. And then I also wanted to see what Pierre's results were last year, and you can see here Gasly did his best result was a second at Singapore, and I actually noticed looking at this that he's was very consistent. Like, he only had twice where he didn't finish outside the points, but it was not a lot of podiums though. So it was a lot of 5th and 6th and 7th, but you know, it wasn't exactly a lot of podiums, but you know, still a pretty decent result. And it's pretty cool that you can see all the results in your career mode from every race. It's a nice touch from Codemaster. It's going to help me commentate these videos. So yeah, Gasly leading the championship there. Vettel collected the fastest lap. But by the way, Gasly only won by 0.4 of a second, so it was a very close race. But now, anyway, moving into the development of the car, I've decided to develop the engine. It's a major upgrade, and that upgrade will help service at the Chinese Grand Prix. One will not come into effect at Bahrain. Unfortunately, it takes 2 race weekends for that to be delivered. So 2 races for our major engine upgrade to come. I'm hoping to get that in the car for China, and then after the Chinese Grand Prix, I might do another engine upgrade while we're after Bahrain. One of those minor ones to also get it for China, and then for hopefully Spain and Monaco, I will try and get a couple of aero bits on the car to really help us for the downforce around those tracks. Those are the 2 areas of the tree where I will be focusing on. I also just decided to throw in some points here on the failure chance to help reduce that. But anyway, that's been today's video, guys. Please leave a like, subscribe, leave any feedback of my video down in the comment section below. I'll see you guys for the next race in Bahrain. Goodbye.